Hello people, I'm the Comic Book Gamer, and this is my spoiler-free review for Captain America Civil War. So, I won't be spoiling anything in this video. My spoiler review might already be up, so for those of you guys that have already seen the movie and want to know my full thoughts on it, you can go check that out. I don't know. I'm going to try to upload these at around the same time. Anyways, let's get into it. So, Civil War. Something that I was incredibly happy about is the fact that this is a Captain America movie. I was really worried about the fact that it was Civil War. I thought they might pull a Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice thing to where, hey, Batman v Superman, we think we're going to get Batman v Superman, but no, they focus more on the Dawn of Justice part. No, in this, they focus way more on the Captain America aspect of the movie than the Civil War aspect, and I love that, while still giving what's due to the Civil War aspect, because when they first announced this, I was like, I don't know, I feel like Civil War should be an Avengers title because, it involves the whole Marvel Universe, and so I don't know how it's going to work, but it worked great in this movie, and they focus on Captain America. It's a Captain America story. I'd say even more so than Winter Soldier. It seems more focused on Captain America, because that was one of my flaws with Winter Soldier, was the fact that it seemed more like a Black Widow Captain America team-up movie than an actual Captain America movie, to where this one feels a bit more Cap-centric, and I was really happy about that. Really enjoyed the movie. Something that I was really happy about as well that Batman v Superman also did not do is, yes, I'm comparing it to Batman v Superman because they're both very similar movies and sort of topics that they tried to discover, and they're the big two superhero team movies that are coming out this year. So of course I'm going to be comparing them. Anyways, is the fact that they give respect to all the characters in this movie. Everyone gets their licks in, and it feels right. Everyone gets respect. It's not like, oh, well, Spider-Man, Black Panther are new, so we gotta make them OP and cool. We gotta make sure that everyone loves them by making them completely OP. No, they don't do that. Those guys get beat up just as much as anyone else, and it's really good, and I loved it. The action in this is amazing. There's a lot of it as well. It's not as scarce as Winter Soldier. While Winter Soldier had a good amount of action scenes, it was a little scarce, to where in this, there's a lot more. There was some wasted potential in this movie for some characters. The villain, it's another classic Marvel villain in terms of the fact that the villain sucks. It was just stupid. They completely wasted Zemo, and that's not a spoiler because, Zemo was released online a while ago. They already confirmed that Zemo was going to be the main villain. Anyways, Zemo is completely wasted. Is very disappointed because he's one of my favorite Captain America villains. He's really cool, but he was completely wasted in this movie, and he's just another typical Marvel villain, to where Marvel's got Loki, and that's kind of it. They haven't really been able to be like, hey, here's another great Marvel. Nope, every other villain has pretty much sucked besides Loki and Ironmonger from Iron Man 1. The jokes, the humor, that stuff, that felt more natural in this movie. Didn't feel like Joss Whedon's humor, where Joss Whedon's humor feels like the movie was written to be a comedy, and some of it feels forced. It feels like, okay, this is something that someone thought of and wrote, to where this feels more natural. It feels like something you would say in real life more, and I like that. It didn't feel as forced. It felt like, okay, I could see someone saying this in that situation. Now, that being said, there are some scenes where it's like, okay, it shouldn't have been humor there. Like the airport fight scene, you've probably heard a lot about that. That's because it's amazing. That fight scene is great, but it is lacking the intensity that it needs, because there's a lot of jokes going on. It's like, okay, there's more intensity when I play football against my friends than there is in this fight, and this is supposed to be, a war going on. So, no, it was sort of lacking it there. That's one of my complaints, especially when the fight starts. You've already seen it in the trailer. When Spider-Man comes, he's like, hello, everyone. Well, Cap and Tony Stark, they're talking. Tony's like, you're wrong, and Cap's like, no, you're wrong, and then Spider-Man joins, like, hey, everyone, and then Iron Man's like, we don't need to have a conversation, and Spider-Man's like, okay, and then they go back to being all serious, and it's like, well, that felt out of place. That felt really weird. This is supposed to be like a serious scene, then all of a sudden he just breaks it, and I had whiplash from that scene, because it's like, oh, all serious, intense, and then Spider-Man comes in, and it's like super humor and all that stuff, and then it goes back to being intense, and it's like, that just feels really weird and did not feel natural. It felt very forced and just not good. But with that being said, there's not a whole lot of that in the movie. This movie handles the humor very well, especially towards the end. There's basically none. It feels very intense, and I love that, because a lot of Marvel movies haven't really been able to put stakes on them. Everything feels like, okay, everyone's going to be fine. Everything's going to be good. It's all happy, jolly ending. Nothing bad's going to happen to anyone. It's going to be fine. And that's because that's how it's been so far with pretty much every Iron Man movie. The only one where it felt like something may happen was Iron Man 1. Since then, nothing. You had Iron Man 3 where it's like, oh, he's got PTSD, but then there's jokes every 2 seconds, so it's like, okay, I'm not really feeling the weight that I think this movie should have, and then the villain's a complete joke, and it's just, what? To where there's a lot of intensity at the end, and I loved it. All the characters in the movie, fantastic. I loved it. I could have used more Hawkeye. That's like one of my only complaint with that, but that's just a little nitpick because Hawkeye is one of my favorite Avengers, and I would love to see more Hawkeye. I felt like there wasn't enough of him. Besides that, everyone won great. They're all fantastic. Again, like Disney Marvel does so good with their casting. Like everyone is perfectly cast and it's so good. The fight scenes are amazing. I think I already talked about that, but I'm going over it again. The fight scenes are so cool. All the characters have great chemistry together. It's fantastic. I love seeing like Team Cap interact and Team Iron Man interact. It's so good. And the story is much better. It's one of the best we've seen in Disney Marvel because of the fact that for the most part they've been very light on story. For instance, I love Avengers 1, but the plot for that film is very weak. It's basically, hey, Loki controls some people and then aliens come and then a Phantom Menace happens, you know, like when they destroyed the ship and all the droids just fell over. That's what happens at the end of Avengers 1. It's like, I mean, I really love seeing all my favorite heroes join together and fight, but that plot was extremely thin and stupid to where it's got a really good plot. There are some weak points to it, but for the most part, it's really good. The villain, I would say, is the weakest link to the plot, but besides him, the plot is really good. I like seeing some stuff unfold, and yeah, it was just really cool. So yes, overall, this movie, Captain America Civil War, I'd give it probably an 8.5. I loved it. It's not perfect. There are still some of those Marvel things that they need to get rid of, like the fact that humor at inappropriate times, it takes you out of the movie a bit. It's like, that just does not feel right at all, and the fact that the villain still sucks. That's basically the two complaints that I have without, like, spoiling anything. So, yeah. Anyways, those are my thoughts on Captain America Civil War. Please let me know in the comments below what you guys think of the movie, non-spoilery. If you want to spoil stuff, just go to my spoiler review. Also, sorry that I sound all hyped right now. It's because I just saw the movie, and so I'm super energized because, like, yeah, I saw the movie. It's so good. But anyways, yeah, I want to know your guys' non-spoiler thoughts in the comments of this video. If you want to spoil stuff, then go to the other video and let me know. Anyways, see you guys in the next one.